It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Gun Show. We come to you live for about an hour or maybe 90 minutes a day on YouTube. We also simulcast over on gunchannels.com, where we watch all the comments from everybody watching the show live. Actually, one of the reasons the show was started was for its interactivity with everybody watching. So we do appreciate everybody that's here with us live and everybody that watches later. We also appreciate the feedback that we get from everyone, all the channels and all the chat hosts. They put in a lot of work, a lot of effort out over here to make their stuff go for pro two-way reasons. So make sure you check them out and support them. And come on down and check out gunchannels.com. Today is Monday the 26th. Yeah, 25th. I'm sorry, Monday the 25th. G-Webs might be joining us later, but for now, we have hosts, and one of them is Bob from Canada. How are you, Bob?
Hey, I'm good. Sorry we're a little late, everybody. Jimmy and I got gabbing a bit, so...
Yeah. And I am Jimmy coming in from Arizona. We like to start the show with anything that happened overnight or in the early hours of the morning. Since today's Monday, I guess that would reach the weekend. So anything for you, Bob?
I just watched a couple of good chats. Yankee had his, I don't know whether it's called Shooting with Yankee or something, but I somehow accidentally clicked on his show, and yeah, he had actually a pretty decent show. So that was a good one. I don't remember what else was on last night. I think I was consuming adult beverages. I don't really remember a whole lot.
Yeah, it is hard to remember. Yeah, once those brain cells start going to sleep. But yeah, yeah, that was an interesting one too, because I had saw the pre-video to it. I didn't get a chance to check out the chat, but he was bringing up the Gun Show Loophole Tour a lot, and that's really awesome that he's getting that out there, especially with how big his audience is, and hopefully it'll be some help.
Well, it's really nice of that old fart, but yeah. I mean, all kidding aside, Yankee is a heck of a nice guy. I've met him a couple times, and
yeah,
he is exactly like what he is on the video, but underneath that crusty, warty exterior, he's actually a decent guy. So
just got to dig deep, folks. That's all. Yeah, what else? They had the Caliber Corner. There was a bunch of chats going on this weekend, but that kind of reminds me though too. Our weekend, I guess you would call it prime time, I guess, or early evening chats. They're kind of lacking on the weekend. So anybody out there that has something to say or wants to start a chat, feel free to. Even a lobby chat, those end up being pretty cool sometimes. So feel free to come on down and open something up and start something up. There's usually mods around everywhere, so we could all help you out. So
yeah, for sure. That's the thing. We want to keep pretty much the conversation going 24/7 if we can. Just because there's a lot of hours when people who work swing shifts and stuff that there's nothing on TV. Well, there never is anything good on TV. And you're sitting around, you don't feel like watching a movie, you just feel like maybe talking to other people about guns or something, and yeah, it's 3 a.m. So maybe, we can get some people from other countries on that want to talk about guns. I think that'd be kind of cool in those off hours.
Yeah.
If you know anybody out there, yeah. If you follow anybody out there who's into guns and stuff like that, that's maybe, in England or Australia or places like that where it's going to be their nighttime or their evening, and that would be, our morning or something, drop them a note. Tell them, hey, why don't you come check out Gun Channels? We should do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we should do that really with everybody who, if you follow somebody and you think they got a good channel and you like watching them, they seem like decent people, just tell them about gun channels. Tell them this is a really cool place to hang out, and we do live video chats. We can help you get set up for doing live, and you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of misconceptions about like internet things. Today, one of our topics is going to be how to use social media. So I guess kind of the whole internet, it's to reach out to people that are not here. So say wherever you're at right now in America, it's 6 something, but then you travel over to Romania, it's the middle of the night, So I mean, there's different people at different things, like Bob was saying. So somebody that's in the morning chat might not catch the same thing that's going on, and usually they're all like repeated. It's not repeated, but people usually go over what happens in the chats usually. So if you miss it in the morning because you're working, you're sleeping or whatever, there's always a chance to catch something later on in the day. So that would be the great part about having it 24/7.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And just to have it out there for people. I mean, if shit starts going down, Gun Channels is always going to be there as long as the internet's up. Gun Channels will be there to be able to communicate with other people. Start getting things like, getting blocked on YouTube or whatever, Facebook.
Yeah. So, yeah, and we got just out in the chats right now, we got Ghost Tactical, Tony Ellum, Clover Tack, Ori Lappin. We got a bunch of people out on the YouTube side. We got a few people we got on Gun Channel. Smeggy, Angry American, Hottie, Enrique, Rupin, BT Pfeiffer. Thanks everybody for showing up.
Oh yeah, right on, guys.
So
load the YouTube side so I can see what's going on over there.
So let's see. I guess that'll kind of bring us over to the show real quick. So this week, we can start off with today, I guess. Today, our topics are going to be how to use social media and events. Tomorrow, we will be going over Second Amendment issues. We'll be having a wild card. And by the way, anybody that wants to send in wild card topics or anything, feel free to do it over at dailygunshow@gmail.com. After the wild card, we'll be having our state of the state. Hopefully, I got to look some things up here. Oh wait, I think the G-Webs wanted to go over some of the states that he's visited in the Loophole tour, and that would be real cool. Do state of the state on some of those. Let's see what else we got here. And Wednesday, entertainment. Good idea, bad idea, and the ever so popular hashtag showdown.
Mm-hmm.
And Thursday, CCW topics, gun stuff, and training. Then Friday, we will be doing our gun tech topics, gun biz, and alt gun topics. Oh, and we have the man with us right now. Hey there, G.
Oh, he's finally decided to show up.
How's the internet?
You're coming in clear for me, yeah.
How far into the show are we?
We were just getting into the first topic, talking about this week.
So what school ground are you parked outside of today?
All these people here live on a Titan II missile silo. In Arkansas at Little Rock, where they had 18-3. Well, there's 3 squads. There was 6 squadrons. 2 of them were here in Arkansas, 2 in Kansas, and 2 in Tucson. So I'm checking out the silos today. So these people live on the silo. I don't know if they know it. Doesn't look like it.
That's really cool. So they're living right above history, right on history.
Adjacent. This is the road into it. It's behind me, and it's all just nothing. It's definitely interesting. Ours just look exactly the same as like they were in 1980 something when they walked away from them.
Yeah.
Here plants and rain and snow and weather and critters happen. I'm sure they all flooded also. So they're a lot different here than they are in at least in Arizona. So we're talking about what happened over the weekend?
Yep.
Yeah, 2 gun shows. I went to one in Indiana on Saturday, and that was a tri-state gun show, they call it, where it was down in southern Indiana, where the very southern tip of Indiana, where it hits Kentucky and Illinois. So it was like Illinois, Kentucky, and Indiana gun show. Female promoter, really cool. I think she said 14 years she's been doing it. And it was, I would call it a medium-sized show overall, but well diversified, like a really good selection of everything, a little bit extra of the stuff that you want, and the good stuff, and decent show. Then I went to one in Missouri, southeastern Missouri, and they call that a 4-state gun show because that's down in that little chunk of Missouri where it stole it from Arkansas, where it's like Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Or not maybe, I don't know about Arkansas, but Missouri, Illinois, Mississippi, and Kentucky are all right there. I guess if somebody drove all the way from Arkansas, then it would be 5 states. But that show was amazing. It's at the, where was it at? It was at the Missouri, I don't know what it was. I think it was on a school or something. It was in some kind of a gymnasium type of rec center. So, like an auditorium, like whatever you call a sports thing.
Yeah,
I'm used to
auditorium.
Yeah, I'm used to it being like a hockey thing because there's like the main room and then the seats, and the seats go away. So that gives you a really big main room. And then you got the outside perimeter where, like, I don't know what that's for normally, concessions and stuff. So a fairly big show. But man, it was awesome. It was a really, really good show. People there were hustling. They were selling. So they were selling. So they were jazzed. The people that were attendees were jazzed because the sellers were all motivated and people were buying. So it all fed on itself. And it was really cool to be in a show like that. It really felt like being in a gun show like 2013 or something. No, not even, because in 2013, the shows were crowded, but they were crowded with jerks buying ammo. So this was like the old-fashioned gun shows when it was just fun to go to a gun show. There was always going to be something to talk about. You knew you were going to be there a while. It was a pleasure to walk around it twice because you were so busy listening and bullshitting and just having a good time and learning stuff that you missed stuff. And it was, great to go around a second time. So, just a really cool show. I was definitely glad I hit that one. Thanks to Ghost for recommending that one.
Yeah, that sounds really cool, man. Like you said, like I've seen a lot of them where they're crowded with, people just walking around and aimlessly whatever, but to see people that were there to be psyched to be there, that's really cool.
Yeah, and it wasn't like it was really neat. So I'm gonna try to get that, out across in reviews of it. Then after that, I went down to Memphis and checked out. There's a giant, I guess a pyramid that some sports team went out of business, and they gave it to Bass Pro. So now they got a Bass Pro in there. I don't know if you've seen it before. It's like a giant pyramid right in the middle of Memphis, so you can't miss it. It's right on the Mississippi. It's literally on the, the ramps coming off of the Mississippi River off of 40. Like hit the parking lot of that thing. You could throw a rock at it and hit it from the road. So it's literally the first exit and everything right when you get off in Mississippi. And it's, designed to be a sports thing. So there's a ton of parking and it's huge. It's as big as any building, any skyscraper. And then it's kind of just empty inside. It's a giant pyramid inside. So they painted the inside black and then put a bunch of birds, like taxidermy birds, like in whole flocks of birds flying around taxidermy. Like not really a mountain, like in a Cabela's, but taxidermy kind of going up fake walls and stuff. I've got 8 minutes, 10 minutes worth of video from there. Once I edit it, it'll probably be about 6. And I think I show it off. It's really not that much bigger than a regular Bass Pro, but just so unique. It was kind of neat. So again, thanks Ghost for mentioning that one.
I would figure the triangle shape, would that like clutter things a little bit, or does it not really, it's big enough to not notice it when you're inside?
No, it's huge. So it would be like if they took the Luxor and put one Bass Pro in it. Like there's just ton. I don't know if it's the size of the Luxor or not. It can't be because the Luxor is like many stories worth of hotel rooms and stuff. It's got to be way bigger than this. But they seem pretty impressive from the outside. It's neat to see a giant pyramid. I guess that was my highlights from the weekend. Saw a bunch of gun shops. I've been averaging about 2 shops a day, I think. So, some days are better than others. But doing stuff like this in between.
Yeah, and then the whole waiting for the videos and everything. Yeah, I can see that. But that's really cool, though, man. I'm glad that you're getting your goals accomplished and all that, and that's really awesome. You're getting to see the gun shops. That's cool too.
It has been, and it's had pretty good luck. I went to one going into Indianapolis that was had a big sign on the road, and they told me to get lost. They didn't want pictures. Then I went to the next one that Google sent me to on the way to my friend's house, and it was out of business, like gone. So that was 2 strikes going into Indianapolis. Then I visited with one of the guys that built gun websites with me back in 1997, and he lives in Indiana. Haven't talked to him, well, since his kid was a baby, and now she's going into high school. So we had lots to talk about, and caught up and everything. And then in the morning, checked out one of his favorite gun shops, and it was awesome. They were really cool. 44 years in business. You know, the store looks like it. It's just packed with stuff from floor to ceiling. Anyway, that store was cool. I got some video there. And then a couple other shops in Indiana were also some of the coolest shops I hung out at. So Indiana started out being bad, but then got better. So the gun shops are definitely, the cover on the shops has definitely been doing well. But I'm thinking this week I'm going to change gears to the Gun Rights Policy Conference coming up at the end of the week. So trying to encourage people to either get motivated and go to it, or at least pay attention to it, spread the word about it, let people who can get to it. I was just, I'm gonna shouldn't drive with open cans in the cars. I'm going to capitalize a bit of the show. As I noticed something on Facebook or Instagram this morning when I was getting things going. There's a ton of posts about some sports thing. Some sports guy must have kneeled down again instead of doing the pledge or something.
Yeah.
And everybody's farting around about that, like if it's the worst thing in the world. I mean, it's a free country. You can do what you want. I don't want to live in a country where you have to, salute the flag. And I don't like the idea of spending a bunch of money on people who are dicks and don't like the flag either. But here nor there, it made me think, like, how many times do people, spend a ton of time and effort going to, whatever thing it is, like a sports game or whatever those sports games are. I know they go to those and have parties and stuff and spend tons of money doing that. And how often do you do that for the Second Amendment? How often do you do something that's going to show support to the people who are every single day spending their time and energy running these non-profit organizations, these gun owners' rights groups? So if you want to, well, I shouldn't say it that way, but your money where your mouth is, put your ass in a seat where it's going to do literal good. It's going to inspire people to continue doing that job for another couple of decades and fight and do the stuff that, the Hearing Protection Act that a lot of people don't even appreciate. But anyway, it's in Dallas this weekend, and I've said enough about it to you guys, to this audience. But that's going to be my goal this week, is try to get people to just make that a big thing this year.
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan. We got to try to push it. People just don't seem to be, I don't know, as worried about it as they should be. It's. I think I did a quote like at one time. It's the time to fix your roof is not when it's raining, but when it's sunny out. So I mean, gun rights is our roof. Now is the time to fix them, to make them better, right? Well, we've got the opportunity. The sun's shining.
Yeah, especially now is not the time to be lazy about it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is our best chance to get anything done, right?
Well, so what other topics do we have? I didn't want to.
Well, we were just wrapping up this week, so that would put us at the break right now. We were discussing earlier about the between the first and second segment, we usually like to focus on one of the members at Gun Channels or somebody that's doing something positive in the 2A community, whether it's on Patreon or YouTube or whatever. Me and Bob were talking about it, and we were gonna do Pink today.
Right on.
Pink, he's been around for way longer than I've been around for. running lobby chats usually during the evening times, and a real good dude.
Yeah, Pink is one of the members over at Gun Channels. I think I don't remember when he's logged on or when his sign-in date or whatever, but he's been around for a long time. And a couple years back, well, let's say a couple years into Gun Channels, we had kind of come up with this idea of a lobby, having a room where it's kind of open discussion, kind of a staging area until one of the primetime shows would set up, or in the evenings after the primetime shows, another place where people just get together and hang out. So this concept of lobbies was around for a while, and the place was getting a little stale. People weren't doing as many live shows, so the lobbies became more prevalent because that was the only thing to really do, or at least to talk live. So I asked people to host, right? And we'd have this you host, we post type of thing, mainly because for a while there I was hosting them every single day, 24/7 basically, and my cable company had a fit because I was using so much bandwidth and started to limit my stuff. So I can't, I do too much internet stuff. So I had to start to ask people, hey, is there anybody out there who has better internet than I do or more gigs or something? And Pink jumped right in and started hosting lobbies on the regular. And not only was that cool effort on his behalf, but it literally changed Gun Channels. To have a consistent lobby all the time, every night, which he provided, brought all kinds of new members in, and people stayed, and it changed the dynamic, and I think for a good way. So thanks much to Pink for that. And then personally, he's just helped a lot, fixing the van, getting it tuned up, getting the electric fixed in back, bought this laptop that I'm working on. So yeah, Pink's been a really big part of Gun Channels. Definitely worthy a member of the day.
And he likes Dodges, so that means he's a good dude. And he really is. I've met him a couple times, and yeah, I like him. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, awesome. So thanks, Pink, once again. Let's see, where will that take us to? Wildcard? Oh no, how to use social media. So today I was talking, since it's kind of been a topic of conversation, and I don't want to beat a dead horse too bad, but we were kind of talking about it in the early chat, and there was still a few people that really haven't caught on. So I was going to do the whole tagging efficiently, how to get more eyes on your stuff, how to get more eyes on, not necessarily even pro 2A stuff, but just to, I guess, make yourself more visible on social media. And my tags usually go to gun-related stuff. Like sometimes I'll just put in, but then I've noticed that if I go towards, like, I don't know, tagging everything, like gun channels, guns, Glock, just putting in, throwing out random tags, it doesn't work as well as, I guess, what's the word? Meticulously choosing tags, I guess. So I'm still not 100% caught up on the whole tagging thing either, I guess.
All right. Well, you remember the card catalog and the Dewey Decimal?
Yeah. The library, yeah.
Oh, am I still connected?
Now you dropped for a second.
Okay, so do you remember the Dewey Decimal System and the card catalog and having to find things in a real library?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so if a book was written, it could be the best book ever written, but if they remove the card from the card catalog, no one ever would find it, right? Unless you just happen to be browsing the shelves and you found it, but good luck. So if they remove the card, you'd never find it. But there was more than one card in there, right? So if a book was about doing this and that, it would be in the card catalog for this and that, right? So think of that how your tags are. So if you could build the best content ever, you could build any content, and without having the tags there, it's like hiding it. It's like making it almost invisible to everybody else. I don't know if I'm cutting up as I'm driving there, but the tags work the same way that those index cards work in the card catalog. They're a quick way for someone who's researching or looking for stuff to find you. So the tags allow your content to be organized correctly in the whatever it is, search engine, YouTube, whatever. So think of YouTube as a big library. Those tags are necessary for it to know what you're talking about. Now it might be able to read everything we write, and it might be able to say everything or listen to everything we say, but it doesn't have the brain power to then turn all that into words and turn it into tags for us. So the more effort we do as creating content to allow our stuff to be found, the more it's going to be found. The more it's found, the more successful it is, the more, views it's going to get, whatever. And the thing is, because there's so many people out there that are paying no attention to that, or they're paying all their attention to their content itself, or the production of their content, or the newest content, the speed of delivery, they're ignoring that other stuff, or sometimes even shoot themselves in the foot by really screwing up the tags. Then they could spend all kinds of time, effort, money, and everything making their content, and you can wail on them by simply using the system appropriately, working the game according to the rules. So it's definitely something that's worth the attention if you're building content not just for your own enjoyment, but you hope that it would be found and searchable.
Yeah, that's definitely what you said about shooting yourself in the foot with tags. I've had experience with that because of I think YouTube's whatever, their little computer brains that figure things out. I had a YouTube video demonetized because it was the one where I blew a tire up on my truck, and because in the title it was, tire explodes real good kind of thing. I mentioned explosion a couple of times, and it was like, nope, that one's not getting monetized. Which I thought was pretty funny because all it was about was blowing a truck tire up. But yeah.
Yeah, I've had one experience where tags were bad, and I did I drive a minivan, for those who don't know, and I put soccer mom everyday carry as one of my tags, and I guess that must have the hashtag soccer mom must have brought over people that haven't viewed my page before or something like that. But I've noticed though, between different tags, like if I put a tag or a picture of like a couple guns, I'm talking about Instagram. If I put like a couple pictures of some guns and a patch, right? And then I put hashtag patch life or hashtag patches, whatever. I noticed that there's people that are not into guns, but their Instagram channel is like all about embroidery, and they'll come over and like the pic, so it's like you were saying, getting different eyes on it.
Yeah, somebody who's into embroidery goes, oh, that's a cool looking gun.
Yeah. Yeah, they came over for the tag and stayed for the guns.
Yeah, and it might just be that they like the way the photo was done or whatever, but I mean, that's just a way to get eyes on and get the word out there that, gun people are regular people. We got other interests besides guns.
Let's see some of the comments. Meggie on Gun Channels was saying if you make videos that will hold the test of time, they need to have good tags. What else we got? Oh, just everybody talking.
Going on. YouTube is mostly going on about naming cereals after some of us and the other guys in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, like they were saying though, I noticed they were saying in the comments, this is something that can be talked about all day, and that is true. But that's why I guess we thought it was a good comment or a good topic. And I would like to see that VidMe. I don't see them using tags very much, or I just haven't figured out how to get to it yet.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right?
Got to figure everything out. Let's see what you did now. You got Gun Channel side talking about cereals. And then Midnight over there on the on the YouTube side, he was saying that's what I'm hoping to happen. Find food and then see guns too.
No, yeah, actually, you know, why not? I like find videos where it's, you know, guns and motorcycles, right? Or guns and trucks.
Well, like you were saying, though, I mean, we're regular people, so we're not just bound to one hobby. You know, we're not just gun guys and that's it. We have families. We got, you know, people are into, you know, bikes. People are into hot rodding. You know, people are into different stuff.
Yep, that's exactly true, and that's something that I think is important for the general non-gun liking public to find out about, that we're not, you know, mono focused on just the guns. We also have other things we like to do for hobbies, and you know, because some people are, you know, they're just, all I care about is concealed carry. They're going to have their 1 or 2 concealed carry pistols, and that's it. They're not interested in shooting rifles or shotguns or anything like that. Some of us, it's like shotguns. Some of us, it's rifles. But then there's always that other aspect to your life. You know, you might have kids that you take to soccer, or you might have a hobby where you fly RC airplanes, or maybe you got a hobby where you fly real airplanes.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Clover out there makes a good point, though. And I don't know, is this something it can be a worry or not, but using mom in a gun video or other gun related words is not a good idea. Moms demand action, etc. can pick up on it and report it. So I guess I never really thought about that, like negatively, like, you know, I don't know, attracting the wrong eyes.
Yeah, because it might not just be that one video of yours that they're going to look at, right? You know, it might be, your video might be first gun for mom, or mom shoots gun first.
Yeah.
And then you get some of these radical groups, and they might, you know, go through your whole video stash, and maybe you got one in there that, you know, was just fooling around, and they might jump all over you for that. So yeah, it's a good point, Clover.
Yeah, that is a good point. I definitely didn't think about that, you know, because I'm that type of way. If I see somebody that'll just like follow me on Instagram or the VidMe or YouTube, whatever, well, not so much YouTube, but I'll go out and check their channel out first, because there's a lot of like weird, you know, you get somebody that follows you and you go over and, you know, they write all their words in like squiggly letter, you know, they're not American, whatever. I don't know how to explain it, but they're not somebody that you would want to follow, I guess, back, you know.
Yeah.
So I go over there and check out people's pictures too. Like, I'll do that. I'm sure that's like a regular thing that people do.
Yeah, exactly. And like I say, some of these radical groups, I mean, they can make a point of finding something on you.
Oh yeah, they specialize in picking apart. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I see we got Jiwa's back. He dropped out for a sec.
Radical groups. Are you talking about 9mm shooters again?
We're talking about moms demand action and etc.
Yeah, Clover made a good point about using like the tag mom and attracting moms demand action and getting not necessarily banned but reported. So like if tags could be a negative thing.
Oh, tags can definitely be a negative thing. Yeah, if you misuse tags, Clover's brought it up before, it'll say in your terms of service, you sign an agreement when you work with a platform, any platform. There's boilerplate in there, just the standard stuff. You're not going to destroy it. You're not going to misuse it. And one of the ways that you can break it or misuse it, or the way that it bothers them so much that they put it in the contract that you sign with them, the terms of service, is it'll say you're not going to manipulate our system. So if you're in there unintentionally doing something bad, like negligence or ignorance isn't an excuse. You've signed a thing that says you're not going to screw around. So just because you chose not to discover how to work the thing and you're in there ruining it, you're going to get kicked out, right? Or potentially blackballed or whatever. So, in anything, you rent a car, you don't read the agreement, you scratch it all up. You don't expect no consequences when you bring it back. Or you shouldn't. So it's the same kind of thing. If you're going to just run through their system, posting anything you want, and intentionally or unintentionally screwing with their system, they'll either remove you or ignore you. Either way, it's not going to help you get more views or anything.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that in this segment, we try to just approach the other side of the camera, right? There's stuff going on, or the other side of the microphone. There's people that create content. There's people that appreciate homegrown content. There's people that are big time productions. People that might find interest in these subjects. We want to keep bringing that to light, and hopefully there's some people out there that never thought about creating their own content. But again, reminding them that they got a phone in your pocket, and that phone has an excellent camera on it. Excuse me. So that's the point of this segment, is just to really inspire and encourage people to do stuff. So not to necessarily thrash out a subject. So we're talking about tags a little bit. I'm sure you already said it when I was off, but Clover Tack did an excellent show 2 weeks back on Thursday, and I'm sure he's got that posted somewhere. I'm going to try to get him into Gun Channels Universities in the future to just talk about it again. But go to something like that, a resource like that. Clover's got excellent blog posts where he writes it all down, so if you're not psyched to absorb it so much in video, but maybe get the gist of it in video, and then absorb the finer points in text and writing, Clover's got you covered. Check his stuff out, and again, he's really inspirational for just regular old people too, and using these systems in ways that honestly people would go, like Bloomberg pays people lots of money to do the stuff that we figure out and just do. So if you consider yourself DIY, it might be interesting for you. If you do consider yourself an activist and you feel there's important messages get out there, maybe you have an audience, like Bob said, you cook or you do cars or you do something, like Jimmy said with patches or something, maybe you do something, and if you can share that with the other thing that you do and then include guns in there, then who knows what good you might be doing. So hopefully that's what this segment's about, and go get more information and more info from those other resources that are out there. How am I connected now?
You were fine until 1 second ago. Like when you were saying, "How do I sound right now?" You dropped.
Okay, I figure I got to be going between cell signal or cell towers, so going like 60 north to one of the further silos and working way back in. I think I'm right by Ghost Place. Actually, I know I am.
And I think he's out there listening too.
I'll shoot off a gun, then he shoots off a gun. We'll triangulate.
Yeah, he just has to look for a white van. There can't be that many.
Yeah, just the most common vehicle on the planet.
Yeah, that's all.
Oh, did you see my post on Instagram, Bob? I think I tagged you on there. I drove my Chevy truck up onto the Mississippi River levee. It was dry.
No, I didn't see that one.
I saw that hashtag. That was funny.
I drove down the road, and it's like that little dangle tank of Illinois where it pokes itself into the free states of Missouri, Kentucky, and Tennessee, and the Mississippi River. It gets its communism all over everything. And then you drive this road down to Cairo, Illinois, which is a shithole, like completely abandoned almost. And then down in there somewhere, there's the Mississippi River's right there trying to flood Illinois all the time. And they built this giant levee called Mississippi River Levee, I guess. And I drove past the one sign, and I'm like, oh, that'd be a great picture, but I'm not stopping. And then a little while later, I seen another one, so I'm like, oh, I'm stopping this one. But yeah, the thing was just like a hill. So there's no water anywhere near it. I think it's just for massive floods.
That's the one thing about being on the road doing the tour is the amount of time to get from point A to point B becomes a lot longer when you're stopping.
Oh yeah, and it doesn't ever get short.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, that was so what's our next topic? Third topic today.
Well, I think we're just at the break, aren't we? We usually like to mention.
Yeah.
We're at the second break.
How fast am I driving?
He went back in time.
We're at the second
wrong way.
Second break.
So we'll feature the Gun Show Loophole Tour. So if anybody wants to support the drive around the van, seeing cool gun shops every day, what's even better is I'm spending money now. Smeggy, Foos, and I can't remember for the life of me if it was Raphael or John that's the third person, because I haven't had my computer to go check. But each of them are doing the $50 deal. And then for that $50, I'm going to buy $25 worth of stuff for you at shops when I'm out traveling. $5 is to ship it to you, and then basically $20 you're putting gas in the tank. So yeah, I started going to these gun shops and thinking, wow, I'm getting a great response from people, just walking in and giving them some attention, really just giving them a pat on the back. You can't believe how the shops like it when somebody walks in and says, thanks for being here. I don't think they hear that very often. So that part of it alone, I think is encouraging for me. But I thought, hey, what if I spent money? So I put that Patreon level in there, $50 a month, because there's boxes that people buy crap for $50 a month, and they just get some kind of crap sent to them. And I keep seeing people trying to sell these boxes to people, and they're like, hey, look, a bunch of shit that was by the register at some store. Like, hey, I paid a lot for it. And except they didn't. They got it for free, and they're trying to, tell everybody else how great the stuff is. Sometimes it's neat, depending on how expensive the box is, but this is a $50 similar kind of situation, except I'm buying crap at the register at gun shops, like at surplus stores, at gun shows. So I'm cheap, so I'm trying to make it as, I'm only buying stuff that's a good deal, and still paying full retail for it, so I'm not haggling them to death or nothing. But the goal is to drop money in their store. So I've been able to do that in Indiana. What was the first one? The first one was in Ohio, where Pink's Gun Shop, dropped some money at Pink's Gun Shop. Then I went to Indiana, dropped some money there. Then I went to a gun show in Indiana, dropped some money there. I went to a gun show in Missouri and dropped some money there. And that's been pretty cool. So if nothing else, you might not like what I'm doing. I definitely don't put out good content, so I'm not going to suggest you're funding any kind of production value. You can guarantee you're not paying for any cameras here. But you're dropping money in gun shops. So that's pretty cool. And it would be awesome if every single gun shop I went into, I had $25 to drop on them. Eventually get it to more than that. It's kind of neat. I'm thinking as I was walking through the gun show, since I know Smeggy and I know Foos, what do they want kind of thing. So I can't do that for everybody, but I'm going to add a level to that or some sort of a note to that so people can tell me like their shirt size and what kind of guns they carry, that kind of thing. So at least if I'm looking for something, I don't just have to always buy 3 generic things that work for everybody. And I was thinking, if people are down, I might do a t-shirt, a gun shop t-shirt level. Most shops sell their shirts for about 10 or 15 bucks. So I'm thinking 25 bucks or something level. I buy a gun shop t-shirt each month. There's not enough gun shops that are selling shirts, and I've got a couple that I wear. And how cool would it be if everybody just started walking around gun shop t-shirts from different states and stuff? Anyway, that's the Gun Show Loophole Tour. It's over on Patreon, on the gun website's Patreon thing. We have a separate Patreon for the show, so everyone's always encouraged, if you like the show and you like what we're doing here, to throw some money. It costs nothing to do the show, so all that money basically is going to go to shipping when we start doing the patches again, and all the actual money goes out on the tour here. Is on the gun website's Patreon, so there's a couple of Patreons over there. So again, I appreciate everybody who supports it financially. That's obviously necessary. But if you're cheap, or you just don't like what I'm doing, or you don't like the way I do it, but you like the concept, then you don't have to spend any money. Just share the project. If you tell 5 people and one of them thinks it's neat and drops me $5, that's kind of like you inadvertently dropped me $5 without having to do it. So,
well, there's also the whole you tell 5 people, they'll each tell 5 people. You can kind of hope for that.
Yeah, at least that's the potential.
And enough people, you're going to find, enough people that are interested enough to support, as well as, they're still going to be spreading the word. And
at some point, we'll figure it out. I've had about $20 come in this whole month, so it costs more than $20 to go drive around like this. So it might not happen, but I'm going to keep pushing it. And give it what we can, and we can move on with the show.
Yeah, for sure. That's the ideal would be able to just keep you on the road forever.
Yeah.
I think about 10 times bigger than we are now, but I would definitely do it if we can.
Yeah. But that is really, you know, what would be the ultimate would be to be able to have maybe not even just you, but, you know, 2 or 3 of us on the road constantly.
No, that's the whole thing, is that this is seriously pointless. Like you said about driving around, I'm spending a ton of gas and I'm driving like 6 hours between gun shops. And I'm checking out 2 gun shops. It is an interesting project and I like it. But yeah, as far as efficiency, it's pointless. So really the ultimate goal is going to need to be reminding people you got a phone in your freaking pocket and you share your food, you share all your other crap that you might share, or we all enjoy sharing on the social media platforms. Just remember the gun shops are out there. And that's where the real power is. This whole new media is all about all of us understanding that we control the delivery and the message. And these platforms that are fighting for our attention have millions of people on it. So we as individuals can be advocates with more efficiency than we could ever do in the past. So doing what I'm doing is neat, and it's really just a call to action, right? It's just a thing to do to draw people's attention to the fact that you got a phone in your pocket, and the real power is if every one of us would go to a gun shop once a month, once a week, once every couple of weeks, whatever it turns out to be. Think of the amount of free coverage that those gun shops would be receiving. And anyway, we'll talk about that in a gun show tour update or something.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. So what are we at for third? Subject of the day.
We are moving into the events section here.
All right.
I got to pull over. I'm taking fire.
Everybody knows what that sounds means. So drop and stop what you're doing, even if you're at work, it doesn't matter. It is time for the daily quiz. Today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. We've been kind of trying to sprinkle in a little different questions here instead of just having me read questions to you guys like robots. And so today we are going to identify that movie song. And it, of course, it's probably more than likely going to be a movie that has something to do with guns. So clean out your ears, turn up your speakers, your headphones, and get ready for the daily tactical quiz.
Okay, I got YouTube.
So the first one to answer on either side.
First one. Now, how we will be working this is I'm going to just play a little clip real quick. I got to wait for the ad. So how I'm going to be working this is play a little quick couple seconds, give people like another couple seconds to guess, and give them another couple seconds. And then if they don't get it yet, I'll make it obvious. So here we go. That's all you get.
You're a mean bugger.
That wasn't enough for me.
All right, we'll do one more.
You should be able to tell at least the general time period from that.
Yep. We got a immediate winner on the. I guess we're gonna have to do something else here. You got a winner over on the Gun Channel side. Angry, Scarface.
Didn't even get a guess over here on YouTube. Well, Pink Panther just guessed SWAT, so that's wrong. So who got it?
Angry American got it. Hang on, let me see if I could get the. That's about all I can play, but there you go. You guys get the picture. So congratulations, Angry. There you go. Yeah, I guess the next one's gonna have to be a little harder.
What was this? What was this song, or what was the movie?
It was Scarface.
Yes, Scarface. Oh, that's a good movie. Al Pacino when he was still decent. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Especially like the way the girls dressed. Whoo, those were the hot days.
Yeah, you gotta love the 80s.
Yep.
Well, they're kind of bringing it back now.
So, Angry American. That makes you the tactical hot shot of the day. There you go, man. Thanks very much for playing, and congratulations.
Congrats, Angry. So with that, I guess that'll take us into events. There's nothing here, but I guess if you wanted to talk more about the gun rights policy, I guess I don't know if you have anything.
Yeah, definitely. So on today's Monday, we talk about events on Monday now. So we try to go through we'll go through the Gun Channels calendar. So if you just go to the main page of Gun Channels, about halfway down on the left, there's the summary of the coming events. So we're probably going to get into the fall here. We're going to see things like the National Sporting Goods Wholesalers. That show will be coming up. I think it's in Missouri. Oh shit, it's in Missouri. Wonder when that is. I should look at the calendar.
I'm heading over there right now. I'm just very, very slowly.
Right on.
So you said it's in the bottom right-hand corner or left hand?
It'll be on the left column there. As you scroll down, there'll be a segment for the coming events. So anyway, you got that show, which is very much like SHOT Show, but for sporting goods stores. So if you're creating content and you're looking to get a lot of content, we can get, with 3 people, we got 340 videos at SHOT Show one year, 2010, I think, or 11. So the next year we had like 140 and we weren't even trying. Before that, it was a little tougher because people weren't doing video yet. But now that video is established, people understand what video is and create stuff on YouTube and whatever, all that. You can go to a thing like that, National Sporting Goods Association wholesalers thing, and probably get hundreds of videos, if not dozens and dozens by yourself. So definitely something that's interesting. In the Missouri area, I think it's in Missouri, and Kansas City, if I remember right. Anyway, then there's going to be the machine gun shoots. We got Knob Creek comes up this time of year, followed by Big Sandy, which is way better, out in Arizona. And then the big one for me is the Gun Rights Policy Conference at the end of this week. So September 29th through October 1st in Dallas. It's at the, whatever the name of the Winston or whatever that kind of hotel is, in front of the airport. What's it, Winston Hotel? I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, Weston. What's the name of that hotel chain?
I don't know, man.
I think it's Weston La Paloma, wherever Weston is. Anyway, Weston, that's what it is. It's at the airport hotel. So it's in Dallas. Should be fairly easy to get to. You can fly into Dallas easily. I got to keep stopping because the robot keeps telling me when to turn. It's a very disrespectful robot. I can't turn it off either. I got way too many things logged into my route today. So I think I had to pull over here somewhere so it'll shut up. The Gun Rights Policy Conference is where all the gun owners' rights groups get together. Okay, there's 2 exceptions, the National Rifle Association and the other one based out of Colorado that gets millions of dollars from gun owners and does absolutely nothing with the money. So that organization is not invited and it wouldn't show up even if they were, because they don't care at all about the Second Amendment. They care about using the Second Amendment to exploiting the Second Amendment and people's feelings about it for cash. So they're not invited, and I'm assuming they're not invited. They never show up, and the NRA never shows up. I guess the NRA used to show up and then figured out that it's basically an event for all the groups that do all the work that they come in and take credit for. So they have less fun there than they might if it was one of their own events. So they don't show up. The other gun owners' rights group is there. So the Second Amendment Foundation puts it on. Gun Owners of America is there. JPFO, of course. All the state level organizations, all the Citizens Defense League, the Connecticut Citizens Defense League, the Virginia Citizens Defense League, Florida Carry, Arizona Citizens Defense League, Georgia Carry, the gun policy out of California. All the major groups are going to be there. Each of them will have some time to take the stage, and they'll tell us about what they've been doing, what they see needing in the future, and the resources they'll need for that. And then the next group comes up. They'll have some panels from authors and podcasters and people in media, which is always depressing as somebody in the new media to hear them all try to keep that old crap alive. But it's necessary, so we hear about it.
And then it's a networking opportunity. So that's really the reason I'm encouraging people to show up. As I said earlier in the show, you might go to a sporting thing or any number of things that you feel are interesting to do, like a vacation or whatever. Well, this is something that's vital to the country. And I think this year, above all other years, when we have an opportunity with Trump, but we have no motivation at all, this is a time to show with your presence, your support for the people that are putting all this time and effort into stuff. Hearing Suppression Act, the SHARE Act, the SHUSH, all of those were attempts. And what they all shared is none of them had unanimous support. Remember when it happened, kind of grassroots, when they tried to remove the M855? That happened after they got rid of the 545 ammo. And then they came along after the 223 with the M855 green tip. And without any real single motivational thing, everyone, all the gun owners got together and resisted that. We've really, for our own best interest, we need to learn how to get together when we're not we're not reacting to threat, when we're not reacting to an oppression. We need to get together and start moving that line. So this is the year to do it. Because this is the year to do it. Again, if you got any money, you got any time, you got any interest, then take next weekend off. Get yourself to Dallas and be in that room. I went in 2015. I went to the gun rights policy in Phoenix. So that was my first time, and I'm embarrassed. I feel bad because I consider myself an activist for the Second Amendment, and I had not attended in the 30 years that it existed until I went to the one in Phoenix, and I was a convert. I was 100% motivated from that point on to work towards the second. Being in that room is incredible. I've mentioned it before. But what's depressing is there was 600 individuals sitting in that room. Not all of them were the gun owners' rights groups. That was just people showing up to show their support and be in the room. 600 people on Saturday. Sunday, 250 people. Now, what day do you think CNN showed up to film it? Monday, Saturday, when everybody was there and everything was going on and all the best speakers? Or Sunday, when it was like the panels of, radio people and books, authors and attorneys, and then like a room that can hold 700 or whatever, and now had 250. So when CNN pans the room, what do gun activists look like? What kind of encouragement is that for other gun activists? Oh, this thing can't be that big of a deal. The room's half empty.
Yeah,
so let's challenge that. Let's all make that room full. And I know it's not cheap, and I know it's not easy, and I know you have other responsibilities. Trust me, I know what it's like. I am ditching a ton of responsibilities. But not everybody can do that. Not everybody's willing to do that. Not everybody is expected to do that. But what the hell? If you can do anything this year or next year or the year after, do it this weekend and go to the Gun Rights Policy Conference in Dallas. And if you can't, then bug somebody else who can. I think people in that room sitting there are the kind of inspiration that those organizations would need. I can only assume. I can't say I know all of them personally. I barely met most of them, once or twice. But they're human beings, and I can only assume from the stuff I've dealt with that, just in the same way I'm experiencing now with going to these gun shops. When I tell a gun show promoter, thank you for doing this, they've never heard that. Like, I don't think any of them, some of these people have heard that, at least in a long, long time. So I can only assume you give that kind of motivation, that kind of thank you to the actual people, the people that are actually writing the books and running the organizations and standing in front of Congress and sitting at those tables, and the people that support them. That's what we can do. So that's our event section of the show, I guess. Another preach today. You're going to get preached to. Always.
No, but that's true, though. I mean, those guys never really hear any appreciation. And when they do, well, they rarely do. And when they do, it's like not uplifting, but I guess it's more motivating to them. Like, oh, people out there appreciate this.
Amen. Yeah, if you say thanks to people, especially if they're not used to hearing it, it has a real effect.
Well, they're not doing it for the thanks, obviously. They're doing it for the thing, just for the goals. But yeah, you're right. We're all human beings. So again, I know they're discouraged because they got to see this as the potential for so much. And yet, how do we motivate? So not only that, but it should be an excellent gun owners policy conference. We've made massive strides in some states. We've had massive defeats in others. So we're going to see information about the SHARE Act. We're going to see stuff about California, hear and see. We're going to hear stuff about, the successes that have happened out there with knife rights. The same as that, there's a loss in one state, and then we have a success in another. So again, going and hearing all of that, experiencing it all, both the positives and the negatives, so that we have a realistic concept of where we're at right now. All of that would be beneficial too for people, I'm assuming, who are motivated to go to something like that are going to be activists, and they're going to be the kind of people that are having conversations and spreading the word. And, depending on press releases and conversations and chats, they overhear to carry on a message with, to other people. That's that whole telephone game. You're hearing it, someone's impression or someone's summary of someone's summary. Go to the actual event, hear it live. If you have a question, ask the actual person involved. Again, there's just so much stuff that's going to be happening that weekend that I'm going to shut up about it now.
Well, you know what? It just shows you're passionate about the whole cause, and that's good. We should all be.
And I'm a little bit discouraged because I didn't do a good job here. I'm a week away, and I'm just barely getting into it. This probably should have been a theme of the whole gun show loophole thing, to get people psyched up to go, conclude it there or something. But anyway, I'm only one guy and only got a couple of dozen people listening to what I'm saying. But I know that I'm talking to people who do create content to some extent, and let's encourage everybody to at least keep that in mind, that this is something that, I don't know, maybe there's something else going on in Dallas you could go there for also. There's got to be something in Dallas.
I don't know. Does anything happen in Dallas except rodeos?
Yeah, a lot of drama on the various ranches.
There's the Texas International Firearms Festival on Saturday.
Oh no, actually there's not. I left that in the list as a reminder, as the corpse of a shooting event. So that's the event that Edge made famous, brought it to the international attention through his YouTube channel. That's some event that was where the manufacturers and distributors and I imagine stores got together on this range near Austin, and they would let people pull triggers and then check out the stuff, and then you could buy stuff. So it was both a gun show and an exposition shoot. I think it's a great idea. Potentially the wave of future gun show type of stuff. It cost money to get in, and that paid for your trigger time. And I don't know if you had to pay extra for ammo or what, but it was a pretty neat event, and you can check out Edge's coverage of it. He did some good walking around type of coverage last year so you get some kind of idea of the scale there. But unfortunately, it was not managed well, or whatever the reasons, and it no longer exists. So it wasn't a legislative, denial. It wasn't like they couldn't get their permits. They just couldn't get their shit together. I don't think it was even a lack of interest, honestly. I think from what I've heard, it's just get people getting their shit together, and didn't get it done. So I guess it's no longer going to happen. But I left it in there as a corpse just to remind us of a cool event that could happen, and hopefully we'll see those again. I don't think it can, it has to be Texas. I know we had one in Arizona. They have one in Illinois. They've had them in, I think, Pennsylvania. So.
Yeah, that'd be real cool. So I guess I'll go through them real quick. If there's something on here that doesn't exist, just stop me.
That should be the only one.
Oh, okay. Well, then they got the CCDL legislative shoot. That's
the Connecticut Citizens Defense League. I'm sure Cycle put that one in there because he promotes their events. So that's something happening up in Connecticut, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's Saturday, 8:30. Here, let me see what the details are.
Interesting fact about Connecticut: Pima County, the county that I live in, is bigger than Connecticut.
Yeah, there's no details on here, but it is saying Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Then the Texas thing, then Gun Rights Policy Conference. We just talked about that Sunday. Ohio Cartridge.
When is that?
The Ohio Cartridge, October 6th.
Well, I'd have to boogie from Dallas to Ohio. I don't think I can float that.
One Well, on the 7th, there's the Trinity Site Tour.
The 7th of October.
7th of October.
So that's the Trinity site is on the White Sands Missile Base in New Mexico, and it's huge, probably bigger than half the states out east. And it took us forever to drive through it. And then you meet up at the museum on 2 days of the year, and you drive your own car in this caravan, and you get to drive your own vehicle. It means this van could drive out to the where the first atomic bomb was detonated, and he's got it. That only happens twice a year. So I was really scared with Obama. He shut down a lot of the military museums, and I could see him just shutting that down completely. I was really scared with Clinton in there. If she would have got in, I'm sure she would have not given a crap about American history and would have closed all that stuff down, or just science history or anything. But hopefully we'll see it even happen more. Maybe if it's due to interest that they do it twice a year. I'm not really sure. But anyway, that happens once now, and then once pretty much coincides with the Wanamaker shows, I think. And if you're ever interested in doing that, you have to be out in the middle of New Mexico on that Pacific morning, and then you drive out there and you spend the day checking out the place where the first nuclear bomb was detonated. I've got some glass from there. It turned the sand into glass below it. I've got a little piece of glass, and it still has residual radiation. It's kind of neat. So I'm assuming it's all over the place out there.
That'd be kind of cool. You just wouldn't want to carry it in your pocket.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. I think there's more radiation like in the beaches of South America, just natural. It's old radiation.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast it actually dissipates. There's actually a B-17 bomber flying around that was used for testing. And then years and years later, they dragged it out of the desert, restored it, and it's flying around again.
And it glows.
Yeah, no, actually it doesn't.
What else we got on the calendar
there? We got also on the 7th, a pig roast to benefit the Connecticut Citizens Defense League.
Oh, pig roast. Oh.
Yeah.
Kane County, Illinois gun show, October 8th. Right October 13th, Knob Creek on October 13th. It's a machine.
So that'll be in Kentucky. Yep. And that's definitely exposition show up. I think you have to pay admission, then you get to check out a bunch of people shooting their machine guns, and there's machine gun rentals. I imagine it's an amazing experience.
Mm-hmm.
Costs a lot to go there. I've tried to do it multiple times, and it costs a lot of money to fly there, it costs money to drive there, and then it costs money to do it. So it's a little easier to get to, I think, for most people. And it's not, I don't know if it's older or not, but I imagine 2 weeks later is Big Sandy.
Yeah.
The weekend before Halloween.
Yeah, the 20th.
Or a couple weeks before Halloween. So then that one's way better. It's out in the middle of nowhere, so you have to camp out there. You have to drive out in the middle of nowhere, Arizona, and then drive off into the desert. But I think it's worth it. It's way cooler. It's much more just regular bunch of dudes shooting their guns, and you're hanging out with them. And you pay $25 for the entire weekend. And if you're all down with camping and whatnot, it's a hell of a time. Kids love it. It's just the best thing ever.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it again this year. Not this one that's coming up next, but the one that next year actually. Yeah. But I'll drive my bloody big camper out there. I don't care. River crossings aren't too bad.
They've done it twice now.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the motorhome's going to be like going through there, but
should be even easier.
I got a winch. I ain't worried.
Anything else on the calendar?
That was one before that on October. The SGW Expo.
Yeah, that's the National Association of Sporting Goods Wholesalers. So that one I was talking about.
Yeah, Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah, and that's it.
When is Wanamaker? November?
I think it is in November. I'm just going off of my memory from last year. I'm pretty sure it's in November, but I'm not seeing it on the October calendar here.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
well,
early one's November, yeah. Okay. Or late one, I guess you'd say.
cool. So we try to do the calendar of events every Monday. What we're really doing is just amplifying or, referencing all the calendar events over on Gun Channels. So as I mentioned earlier in the show, Gun Channels is a place we built. It's a community focused on firearms. There's lots of stuff to do there, including the calendar. Any member can go in and add events to the calendar. Dano, I think, put in that Illinois gun show. Somebody in Illinois put it in there, probably. Cycle is putting in the stuff from Connecticut. Obviously, that's helping anybody who lives in those states. But on the other side, on the inside of the internet, that's helping those organizations out. That gun show is looking for as many links out there in the world as it can find. Those organizations like the Connecticut Civil Defense League, Citizens Defense League, excuse me, are looking for as many links backs as they can get. So by putting them on a valid website like Gun Channels, that's been around for going on 4 years now, or it's in its 4th year, right? Going in 5 years, crazy. That's an established website with lots of a million monthly views. So you post a link over there, you're helping that organization out. You're also letting some human beings know, but let's keep in mind that we're creating content. We're trying to advocate for the second. That's a way that we can help those organizations out. And it gives us something to do on this show. I think Jimmy looks at it on the early watch. Anyone's welcome to reference those calendar events on whatever kind of content you're creating out there. So if it also helps everyone by giving them something to talk about on their shows, then it goes even better. It all helps. So the reason we do this on Mondays is to touch it every week. And we encourage anybody to both use the system and advertise the stuff that's posted there.
For sure.
Share. We're not really advertising. Advertising implies payback. So share the stuff that's there.
Yep. Get the word out. That's what, kind of what the show is about. Just getting the word out on all kinds of different events and doing goings on. So why don't we go to the gun of the day? I didn't put this one in.
Have a gun of the day?
Yeah, Cycle Camp put it in. Or Cycle Camp must have sent it in. I didn't put it there, so. But he says,
he got it from email.
Yeah, so it says semi-auto revolver. So I'm thinking he means the Webley. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah.
Took a picture of one at the show, the Tulsa show last year in March. I took a picture of one. The guy, one of Bob's friends from Chicago, he had a ton of rare stuff. Just incredible. I can't even imagine how much money he brought to that show worth of stuff. And one of those, he had that semi-auto revolver, which is basically it uses recoil. It's got some weird kind of angled slides or whatever you want to call little channels on the cylinder. So when you shoot the thing, it absorbs the recoil and moves the cylinder for you. So it still is a revolver, still moving around like that. It's just that it's using the recoil to then cycle it, which I can't imagine who even came up with such a thing or why. But obviously there's way too many moving parts to do something stupid. So it's pointless. But I think it worked. It was just super rare and expensive, but it was a pointless thing. So it dead end.
It worked quite well.
It did something that really well that no one needed done. So it was a pointless thing. And even if it worked great, it never existed again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was an ingenious idea. And what they were trying to do is because Webley was losing sales to the semi-automatics pistols to the military. So they tried to, I guess, update because, they still wanted that big cartridge. That was a 455 Webley, which is basically a 45 ACP. And it's just a really interesting concept, and it works. That was the amazing thing, is it worked. And it was a little bit complicated. It wasn't that bad, though. It was a weird thing to shoot, though, because the whole top of the pistol slides back on the pistol grip.
Yeah, but you can't just disregard that because it's got a weird recoil impulse on the range. All of that stuff happening in real life, that's not good.
Well, no, it's basically like your slide coming back. That's except more weight. It was actually used by target shooters. Webley had quite the reputation for being a target pistol, and it was something that they tried, and they couldn't get any traction with it, of course, because like G was saying, it's complicated, and it really doesn't do anything better than a regular revolver does. It just adds complication. So yeah, it was just one of those paths that didn't lead anywhere.
I wonder how many people shot that thing. Got a weird echo. Shot that thing and then would still cock the hammer. You know what I mean? Or like still try to cock the hammer at least.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I mean,
because you don't expect to hold a revolver and have it, cycle for you.
Yeah. But I mean, it was an interesting concept. It had its advantages, but they by far were outweighed by the disadvantages. But yeah, really unique, and that's like we were talking about how, the people aren't, trying to do different things, being unique about them, or not. Not all the gun controllers and designers are, but yeah, they tried to do something different. It turned out to, well, it worked. It just wasn't worth the extra complication. So interesting concept, went nowhere.
Speaking of Cycle Camp, I know he collects actions. If he's out there watching, I wonder if he is going to be considering one of these double action or semi-auto Webleys. Definitely unique.
Oh yeah, no, I just love that.
I forgot what they cost. Was that the $15,000 gun?
I think about that. Yeah, they only made several hundred, I think.
I forgot the other one I was looking at that was also super rare. I think that was the more expensive one. The other one was the Mateba, and it's more like $6,000, right? So I think this was the like $15,000 gun.
Yeah. But it was something they tried. Then they built some auto pistols too. But yeah, Webley just kind of
Well, let me cross over to the kind of reference back to the calendar of events. Then we talked about the Wanamaker Gun Show in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It happens twice a year. And I guess we didn't really have it on our calendar, but if you're considering, again, going to one gun show each year, well, I don't know how I would do that, but then one gun show out of state maybe each year, then definitely consider this one. I don't know how I lived this long and haven't been going to it every single year, but I'm going to try to resolve that. It's awesome. And where else can you say that you can go past a table that has that $15,000 revolver that there's like probably double digits of in the world, right?
Well, yeah, and you can walk past a table that's got like crates and crates of Lugers. I mean, it's just amazing.
Two actual SDG 44s, and I think one of them was for sale. So, it's weird opportunities, or rare opportunities, and weird, I guess. All right, well, that was our gun of the day. We did our movie of the day, right?
No.
But
movie song. Okay.
Yeah, the movie of the day was the movie song, though. Coincidentally enough, we were going to be talking about Scarface today.
Oh, so that's how he cheated. He just looked at the show notes and saw our movie of the day and typed it.
He looked up the music, and there we go.
Yeah.
Hey,
2 birds, 1 stone.
It worked pretty good.
So it's Scarface?
Yeah.
Scarface with Al Pacino, right? That's the one we're talking about, the Al Pacino one.
Yeah. I didn't see the 1933 or one or whatever. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I've seen that one. It's a good movie. It's just really dated.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Al Pacino Scarface, I liked it actually. I remember watching that when I was, 30 or something, whatever. And yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. My girlfriend at the time didn't like it. It's too gory. Actually, I think she fainted in the theater, but
I don't think I've had any girls go that far, but yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily a chick flick.
No, not a chick flick. Yeah. Oh, that same girl. She fainted at Saving Private Ryan. She would just go. Yeah, anytime a movie got a little bit gory, we had to get up and leave. Really pissed me off.
Yeah. Well, this movie, this is one of them movies that I could probably put in the category of watching it like over and over again. I don't know.
Yeah, I got to say, I've probably seen it 4 or 5 times, and I'd watch it again. Yeah.
Easy.
I'm going to give it a good solid 2 thumbs up. Yeah, it's
No, I guess I'm in the category that I could take it or leave it. I've seen it a couple of times, I guess, but I never understood the fascination with it. I didn't like it that much. I mean, I didn't dislike it, but I give it a thumb up, I guess. There was a lot of guns in it. It has an M203. That's kind of cool.
Yep.
I guess I should see it again. That's the whole point of this segment, though, is to remind us of a movie we haven't seen in a while. I see shirts and stuff. People really like the concept of it, or like, rep it or whatever. But I should probably watch it again. It's been a long, long time. It's not the one where he goes back to Italy, right? And he's old and young or something.
Oh no, that's Godfather.
Oh, I'm thinking of a whole different movie then. So yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that one again. This is the one with all the cocaine, and he like grows up in Miami or something, and it's him like growing up in that like ghetto or something underneath the streets, underneath the.
No, he was a Cuban refugee or whatever. That was back in the whole when Castro was sending his criminals over, and
But it starts out with him as like a youngin, and then he grows up and then becomes.
He's Al Pacino the whole movie.
Then I definitely have to watch it again because I'm already mixing up 4 different movies now. What's the one that starts with him as like a young kid and he lives in like some kind of ghetto like camp? I'm thinking of Godfather all the time.
No, I think yeah, you're right. Like he was in a prisoner camp and then he was in a refugee camp when he got to Miami.
Yeah, but he was an adult though.
Yeah, but he was a young adult at that time. He would have been, according to the movie, he would have been, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I might be thinking of it. But anyway, I'll watch it again. That's the whole point of the show, or the segment of the show.
No, it's definitely a good watch, for sure. If nothing else, just to look at all the different guns.
Now, one of the things about this one is it's a fancy movie, so it's never like free on Netflix or Amazon, right? This one you always got to pay for.
No, I've seen it free. I mean, right now you can see it on YouTube free.
Well, okay. Almost every movie is available on YouTube until they figure out it's there, and then it'll be gone, then it'll be there again until they figure out it's there.
Yeah, so I'm saying I went and looked just to refresh on the movie, and yeah, it was there.
Well, you cheat by watching all the movies again. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, cheat by watching the movies.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up.
All right, so we got definitely a movie to watch. So I don't know, can't say much else about that.
I would say you have to watch it even if you don't like this kind of movie because there's so many references to it and so many people enjoy it and refer to it that you're missing out. You don't even realize how many times people are referencing it.
Yeah, that's true.
Say hello to my little friend, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. That was a classic line from the movie.
Oh, I want to thank clouds for being there. It is hot in Arkansas. I don't care what anybody says. But now it's nice because clouds can fly.
Arkansas.
Arkansas,
yeah. So after this, you're heading to...
Well, I went to one, so I got 17 more nuclear missile silos to check out today. And then I don't know where I'm going to
go. Okay.
I drove to the one that I was staged at, and then I came up here to the farthest northeast one. And as soon as the show's over, I'll hit it. And then it seems like a lot of them are accessible. Like I say, they just kind of grew over and they look like fields more than anything. It's just a matter of going on Google Maps. There's people that have pointed them all out, but once you know what to look for, like the little pattern on the ground, find here, but the roads and the boundaries are still there. So it seems like some of them are able to be accessed. This one this morning, the first one I went to, though, looked like the road just drove right in, kind of ended, and I had to walk in the last couple hundred yards through garbage to get to it. But anyway, so I don't know where I'm going to go after that. I'm probably going to meet up with Ghost and then see what Boost is doing and decide if I'm going west or south. Because I got Springfield, Missouri as a possibility, the NRA museum there. Like I said, they didn't let me in the vault, so that's, here nor there. I could either go or not, but it means I have to drive north a little bit, I think. Or I could go east or west, I guess, to Tulsa. It's always tough to do in Tulsa. Or I could just head down to Texas already. So I don't know, in the show notes, if you want, leave some suggestions in there. Or, otherwise, I'm not saying I'm going to listen to all those, but I'm going to play it by ear tonight and see which way the wind's blowing. Also waiting to hear back from the cards. They should be, well, they are printed. So now I have to figure out how long it takes them to cut them up, put them into boxes to be ready to ship. Because that'll be the next step, shipping all the cards out to everybody.
Oh, cool.
But I'm like a day away from Dallas now. So whatever I'm doing, I'm within getting to Dallas and shipping them out. So hopefully one of these days we'll be doing the show from the printing place or nearby.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right.
Well, do we have anything left?
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's about it.
How many people do we have watching today?
Right now, live, we have 17.
Right on. So 17 people, thank you for listening. I know we moved this time slot to this earlier time, so if any of you are from the listeners from the old time slot, we do appreciate you moving your schedules around or listening to us now. We also encourage you all to let other people know about the show. We mentioned encouragement through, participation. It would help us to, be eager to for the show every day. I mean, we are already, I think, but grows. Our excitement and our interest in it can continue to grow. So again, if you've got people that you think might be interested in listening to it, even if it's not live, please share it. Just share it on your social medias. It helps. And again, thanks to everybody who shows up and listens live. Hopefully it's worth it. And give us some feedback. Again, this isn't just a radio show for us to talk. It's a project that's designed to or supposed to stimulate conversations. So thanks.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it. Before I do the quote, though, which today is by Rand T. Lennox. What I'd like to do is just remind everybody, please like, share, subscribe. Now, if I see we got 11 thumbs up, so that's great for the amount of viewers we had on YouTube. I'd also like to remind you, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook. We're at 460, I think, subscribers on the Daily Gun Show. If we can get to 1,000, we'll be able to do a little bit more with the shows. So that's that's kind of a goal. But anyway, I will just finish up with our quote. Those gun control activists advocating exchanging a liberty for safety should recall that the safest place on earth is solitary confinement at Leavenworth. And on that rather sober note, I'd like to thank everybody for watching and listening, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching gunwebsites.com.